Hello folks, and welcome back to the channel. I got another tutorial video for you guys, but before we get into this, let's get this YouTube stuff out of the way. If you liked following content, make sure to hit that like button and then share it on your social media. When you share it on your social media, follow me on that Orange Man Bad app. The link is in the description. Subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell for all if you haven't done it yet already. And leave some comments underneath the video if you have any questions, comments, whatever. Just leave them down there and I'll get back to you guys. Those are all the free and easy things you can do to help support the channel. If you want to support the channel directly, look down in the description. Use that Ko-Fi link to do a one-time tip or to join as a monthly channel member. Alright guys, let's get into this. Roll that intro. Okay guys, now we're going to do what a lot of people's actually going to have trouble with. We're going to do the interior nav meshing of the cell. Recently I had a comment asking me about how you would dictate where the player spawns in when you're testing a cell. That would be the COC marker that you put down in your cell. So I just thought I'd go ahead and clarify that. I actually believe that I did it in the video when I created the interior cell, the actual designing video of it. All right, so anyway, to do nav meshing, there is a rule that you have to remember, and this is for interior and exterior nav meshing. The rule is top down. So you would not do your nav meshing, you wouldn't start it on the bottom floor. Always do it on the very top floor, or if you're doing it outside, do it above and then work your way down. So go ahead and to start your nav meshing, you want to go ahead and click on the nav mesh mode button here. It's the black button with red vertices in it, or you can use Control E. So you'll open it up and you see this. Now, a little explanation for this nav meshing tool. This here is for the faces. This is the triangles, it's the faces. And then this is for the vertices. That's the little dots at the end, at each end of the triangles. The third button is for selecting the edges, which sometimes you have to do that. You go into view mode, and this is the standard view mode, and it doesn't see through anything. If you do it with the on top, it will see through like the floor and stuff. And then this one is for nav mesh only. It just turns off everything. Then we got the test nav mesh. You can run a test on your nav mesh to see if it works. I don't recommend using the balance for optimization till you're all done doing the nav meshing 100%, and you aren't going to change it anymore, because if you try to change it anymore after you balance it for optimization, the problem becomes you might crash your kit, and it will crash in game if you start messing with it. The question mark with the little box here is find cover edges. We'll get to that. And the check mark is for finalizing the cell. You'll have to do that. And then you can open a Navmesh generation dialog and advanced Navmesh generation dialog. That's to do auto Navmesh. I don't recommend doing auto Navmesh in an interior cell. I don't recommend it most of the time. The flood fill is if you select a triangle, a series of triangles, it will flood fill them, and then inverse will just take them all away, and you can delete the nav mesh, you can deselect it, or you can cut selected objects. Now, if I was to do, like, say, just a big nav mesh from here over to here, and then all the way to this corner, all the way to like this corner, and then over to here, then I would go through and pick all the objects, the chairs, the table, this here, the firewood, you know, all that stuff. I would go ahead and select all those objects, and then I would use the cut selected object. But that makes your nav mesh kind of messy as far as I'm concerned. Fine triangle is useful in nav meshing the exterior to find any like problems or anything. You might have to do it. I'm not really sure what the create triangle is. I've never used it. Drop vertices is to drop the vertice to the nearest object. Edge rotate. Edit cover for edge. Merge vertices. Turn the water on and off. And toggle preferred pathing. That is what that'll do, is it'll change the nav mesh from green to yellow, and the NPCs will follow the path that you lay out. Now, in an interior cell, you don't have to really worry about that. Okay, that's the explanation for that. Now, you're going to need to use both your keyboard and your mouse when you're doing this. So what you want to do is right click like that, and it'll put your vertice down. Now you're going to have to hold your control key and place another one. And if you do the first vertice like here, you want to go to the right like this, and then move down here, let's say in front of this door, and you want to right click here, and that will give you your first piece of nav mesh. Now when you do further nav meshing, you want to go back to the opposite side, because that'll help out a lot. So the problem is, and you want to look at your objects you have. Like I have this bookshelf here, so I'm going to hold control and I'm going to do it. Now I'm going to want to go back to this side, and you might want to take and go ahead and turn off your markers. It helps. So we're going to go ahead and push the M key, and then we're going to open our nav mesh back up. It helps. But see, now all my vertices have turned red. So I'm going to click on one and keep up the same process. Left, right, if you do it right to left, whatever. Left to right, whatever. Now I want to come back to the left, and then I want to come over here and I want to put a vertice right here in front of this chair. Now I can extend this down, but I'm not going to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click here, and then I'm going to hold control, click this one. Now I want to go ahead and actually click this one in right here, and then I want to try to put it here to where the edge of the table is, and you can see I did that. Now I can continue here, but what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to extend this nav mesh closer to this chair. So I actually want to move this one, so I'm going to click on it, and I'm just going to move that down to about there. And remember what I said about the edges. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click off the faces and the vertices, and that will allow you, should allow you to pick your edge. This is real touchy. You have to do it until the edge is highlighted like that. The yellow turns to red, and then you right click it and it puts a vertex in. Now I'm going to take that vertex and I'm going to move it up that way. And the reason for that is, and I want to take and actually move this back because I don't want the characters screwing it with anything. Now the reason for that is, we'll go ahead, turn off the Navmesh, turn our markers back, and turn our markers back on by using M key. And then we'll turn our Navmesh on. You see this blue marker for the person, for the NPC to sit in the chair? It has to be over Navmesh for them to use it. So that's all. That's pretty good. Now, if you don't want to turn your markers off because you don't know exactly where the markers are, you don't have to. But it makes it a lot easier. And once you get more proficient at nav meshing, you'll pretty much know where the markers are. So we're going to go over here, and then we're going to go here, and I'm going to need to add that vertex to slide that in right there. Now I don't have to do here with the in the middle because there's no markers, right? So we're gonna work back to this. Now I'm gonna want to go over to here like that, and then I'm gonna want to go probably here. And then I'm going to put one here like that. Now I'm going to want to add me a vertex right here so that I can pull that up so that the cooking station marker will be right over top of that nav mesh. Right? And then we're going to go back here, and I'm going to show you how the stairs, I'm going to go as far as the stairs so to show you how that's done. Now, I might want to switch my process from right to left here, because like that. Same thing with the chair here. I want to add that in so where the NPCs can use it. Now I want to go left to right here, right to left here, and then go around the edge of this. Go around the edge of this fireplace and go here, and I'm gonna go here. Now I'm actually gonna zoom out because I want to see where I'm at here, and I'm gonna put one here. Now I want to add a piece of nav mesh in for this chair. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click here, and I'm going to click here, and then I'm going to just click there, and that will put my nav mesh in there. Same process with adding another vertex right there. That'll work. And then we'll go over here. And the reason I'm going as far as the stairs is because I want to show you this. Now when you get to stairs like this, what you want to do is you want to put it at the top of the stairs like that. And I'm going to go over there. I'm going to put one at the top of the stairs here. I'm going to finish this up. Now I want to actually do the stairs. So you could do it left to right, right to left, whatever. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do it left to right. So now I want to go all the way down to the bottom of the stairs, And I'm going to put one there and one there. Now you'll see that the nav mesh comes down the stairs. And now I'll take and go ahead and finish my top level, because I haven't finished it, because I need this top level to be nav mesh before I do the bottom level. Otherwise you have all kinds of problems. It can be done, but it's difficult because you have to like get underneath that nav mesh and do everything. So it's best just to do top down. So we'll finish here. And when you go through doors, the reason I put these two little nav mesh nodes here is because you want to have the nav mesh go through the door, but then you want to actually be able to do your nav mesh around here like this. So that's good. Now, when you're doing player homes and stuff, you'll see that you don't want to put any nav mesh from these islands here underneath the mannequins. You need to they need to have their own separate nav mesh. So you zoom in right here, and you're going to want to just right click, put your vertice, hold control, vertice there. And the easy way is just to get in right here and hold control and do that. And make the nav mesh there, and then move this one. See, I got the edge selected, so it moved everything. I want to make sure that this nav mesh gives the mannequin enough room so it doesn't go looking for other pieces of nav mesh. So you click on this, and then you move this over here. Now you take in, click on that one over here, and then you do that so that they have their own nav mesh island to stand on. You want to make sure that they're standing on it, so you're going to have to adjust your nav mesh here, because mannequins are actually NPCs, and we've done a script to hold them in place. But you don't actually have to use a nav mesh here with that script, but it works a lot better so that they don't go trying to find their own nav mesh. Now you see that I have a problem here. It's not up against it, so I can delete these right out of here, and I want to go ahead and look at the nav mesh I put on here. It's not right on the platform. So what we'll do is we'll get in close, and we'll make sure that the vertices are on the platform. You have to make sure that you don't have floating nav mesh like that, because that's not going to work. I see that if you have problems like that, you can go ahead and click that edge button off for fine work, so that you know what you're clicking on. And then see, now that is a problem. You don't have to duplicate, you don't have to delete it. Move it there, and then push F on your keyboard to drop it right to the surface. That's good. And that needs to come over there. Come over there. And then I will go ahead and finish nav meshing my bedroom here, and I'll be right back with you. Okay guys, I've got my nav meshing done for upstairs. This is all nav meshed here. So now we're gonna do the nav meshing for our downstairs. This is kind of the tricky part where it comes down to the bottom of the stairs here. You kind of want to, you don't want to get it too close, but it has to be big enough for the NPC to navigate it. And you usually want to end it like that, so where there's a whole square. And then we're going to go here like this. And we're going to move this one over. We're going to do this one over to here. And then we're going to make another one here, because you want to leave the edge so that it doesn't go underneath this, because it'll confuse the NPCs. So now we want to go over to here and do it, fill it in, basically. You don't have to do all of it, because this is literally only where your NPCs are going to walk. And you want to, in my case, you have to do a lot of moving around. Yes. In case you were wondering that, yes, you have to move your kit around a lot to be able to see to do it. Now, I do want to do up to here like this. I do want to do the Navmesh right up underneath this dummy, because this is one of the child dummies. I have it marked as a child dummy. That will come into play later when I do the tutorial on how to make sure that it is Hearthfire multi-adoption. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to re-click that like this. I'm going to do this over to this chair like this. And then I'm just going to kind of place it over here. Now that is fine. That is fine. Except, you see where it's underneath the chair? I don't want that to happen. But pull that back. You have to be fairly careful with your placement, because if you put it underneath of a table or underneath of a chair, we've all seen what happens with that. And that's like when the Hearthfire kids walk on the table. That's because of the way they got the Navmesh set up. All right, we'll finish this here, and we'll put one right up in front of the door. And the reason you want to go in front of the door is because when you hook the world markers in, be able to access the exterior world, there's going to be a yellow marker, and you're going to want to be able to have that on there like that. And then you just go ahead and finish that off. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to finish the rest of this cell out, and I'll get back to you when it's done. Okay, so our nav meshing is complete. All the areas are nav meshed so that the NPCs can walk around. Now, you might want to add things. So, like I'm gonna add a chair in for my follower to sit here, and maybe a little table or something. And I'm gonna have to extend the nav mesh. That's okay, but I'm not gonna use. Earlier I was talking about the optimization. I'm actually not gonna use it. So first thing you want to do now is to click your Find Cover Edges buttons. And it's really quick and easy, and you can see where it changed things. There's these edges here are now white, and what it does is if they're trying to take cover or running away or whatever, that's what that button does. Then you go ahead and click your finalize site nav mesh here, And then what you want to do is, while you have your Navmesh toolbar open, click save. It takes a little, sometimes it takes a little bit longer. And then you want to go ahead and open up your log, which should already be open and down. And it says that there are overlapping nav meshes in Breeze Home. That's not anything I did. That's part of the thing here, and we don't see anything really that is anything to do with our don't really see anything to do with our nav mesh, so we're good there. So go ahead and close it and then save it. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my followers into this cell, and I'm going to show you that the nav mesh completely works. Okay guys, here we are in our farm cell, and we've got our two followers here, Ronisur and April. And what we're going to want to do is to check the nav mesh. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to run down here and see if they follow us down here. Which, you come down the stairs. That's good. And hey April,
I've got your back.
I need you to do something.
All right, what is it?
How about you go wait there?
Okay, got it.
And she goes and waits.
Still need me to do something?
There, just like
ready to get going.
You would expect.
Let's get going.
So let's see if they do it all on their own. I have Nether's follower framework, so I got a hotkey to just activate their followers relaxing. And here comes Ronisur. They both decided to take seats in the chairs. And that's good. And they'll end up with the multi-level sandboxing that it has. They'll move around and do things when they're just sandboxing, so that's all good. So the nav mesh seems to be working pretty good. Alright guys, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching guys, and remember, if you like the content, don't forget to hit the like button and then share it on your social media. When you share it on your social media, don't forget to follow me on that Orange Man Bad app. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet already, and click the notification bell for all. If you have any questions or comments, just leave them below the video and I'll get back to you because I read all my comments. Those are all the free and easy things you can do to help support the channel. If you want to support the channel directly, go ahead and look down in the description and use the Ko-Fi link to do a one-time tip or to join as a channel member so you can help me get off and underneath the thumb of the YouTube overlords. Okay guys, until next time, keep your sword sharp, don't be a milk drinker, and always watch the skies, traveler.